And that breaking news here at 6, Kevin Monahan guilty of murder in the 2nd degree and all other original charges. The jury delivering that verdict just around 4:30 within hours of starting their deliberations.
We have team coverage for you straight ahead tonight. CBS 6's Ashley Kusakaki and Tom Eshin breaking down today's proceedings in court and getting reaction and analysis.
Guilty of all charges, it took the jury just about 2 hours to reach that verdict in the murder trial of Kevin Monahan.
Monahan fired 2 shots back in April of last year, one striking 20-year-old Kaylin Gillis in the neck after she and her friends drove up his driveway by mistake. CBS 6's Ashley Kusakaki joining us now live from outside the courthouse. And Ashley, such a quick verdict here in this case, even with what we know are some last-minute developments that happened in court today.
Greg, Liz, the jury was asked to consider lesser charges this morning, but despite that, they have found Kevin Monahan guilty of murder in the 2nd degree, tampering with physical evidence, and reckless endangerment in the 1st degree. Now, more than 50 people, friends and family of Kaylin Gillis, were inside that courtroom with us ahead of closing arguments, deliberation, and then the verdict. Now, in closing arguments, the defense continuously said this was an accident, like how they did this entire trial. The defense also said the way Monahan acted was negligent and questioned the validity of witnesses and expert testimony from the people. The people stuck firmly on their decision. Monahan did not trip over nails, resulting in him falling and banging the gun on the railing with it going off.
You know he didn't fire. He didn't shoot her on purpose.
Kevin Monahan pulled the trigger of his 20-gauge shotgun twice. It did not go off on its own.
Found Kevin Monahan guilty on all charges. Sentencing is set for March 1st. Reporting live in Fort Edward, Ashley Kusakaki, CBS 6 News.
All right, thank you so much for that, Ashley. Tonight, our team coverage continues now from Fort Edward. We have more reaction and some legal analysis to this verdict.
CBS 6's Tom Eshin is live from Fort Edward now. Tom, what are you hearing tonight?
Well, I guess I can start with what we heard in the courtroom as that verdict was reached. You look around and you just heard Ashley mention almost 50 friends and family there. There was a lot of tears, a lot of hugging. It was an emotional scene, as you might imagine. It's been an emotional few months for everybody involved. We heard from the district attorney, Tony Jordan, just a few minutes ago, and he talked about this case and the message that he wanted people to learn from this, and that people are always willing to step up, is what he said. From the neighbors that called 911 that night to the kids that were in the car, her friends that helped get her into a place where they could come and at least respond to the situation, and then step up and testify on Thursday, an emotional testimony if you've been following our coverage on that. Tony Jordan said the goal from the day one was to get justice for Kaylin Gillis, and the kids testifying did just that. Here's what he had to say along with the defense after the proceedings today.
They also showed great self-control, because there was a lot of things that they would like to have been doing today in that courtroom when the verdict was read. And for a group of young kids, I think you kind of saw who they are, right? They're respectful. They're all unique, but they were also respectful of the setting they were in. I would imagine the reaction right now is a little different.
Well, of course, we're disappointed. We've put a lot of work into this for Mr. Monahan. It was obviously a difficult case for everyone involved, and as I said in the beginning, there's not going to be a happy ending no matter how this turns out. The Gillises will never have their daughter back. I feel terrible for them.
Yeah, we've heard so much about the approaches that each of these sides took, and even what happened here today with the closing arguments, the defense taking about 45 minutes, the prosecution about 2.5 hours to firmly make their case, and the jury handing that note in late in the process today before the verdict was delivered. We spoke with a legal expert, legal analyst Ryan McCall from Tully Rinkney, and here's what he had to say.
This was a verdict I think a lot of us expected to happen. However, with that being said, I was pretty surprised with how quickly the jury deliberated. Typically, with even cases like this, you're talking about a deliberation period of 2 or 3 days. This was a mere couple of hours. So you can tell that the prosecution obviously got their message across to the jury, and they, again, decided relatively quickly.
We also know that Kaylin Gillis' father has filed a wrongful death suit. We continue to keep an eye on that as things move forward here. But for now, reporting live here from the Washington County Courthouse, Tom Eschen, CBS 6 News.